Today's lesson is over surface area of cubes and prisms. This addresses Standard 7 GB5, solve real-world mathematical problems involving area, volume, and surface area of 2- and 3-dimensional objects composed of triangles, quadrilaterals, polygons, cubes, and right prisms. Okay, so when we're talking about the surface area, we're talking about the area on the outside of this three-dimensional figure. So in this case, in example 1, we have a rectangular prism. So you have to imagine this in 3D to be able to see all the sides. So let's start with, and there's no particular order to this, but let's start with this side right here, this end. Now remember, this end and then an end back here on the back side that we can't actually see are the same size. So how do we find the area of this part? Okay, we know that the base is 6 and the height, okay, so this is 6. We need this dimension, which we can see on the back side of that rectangular prism, is 7. So 6 times 7 is 42. But again, that back side is also going to be 42. So we're going to say 42 times 2, which is 84 meters squared so far. Now we need to pick another side. So this time I'm going to do this front side here. Okay, so that one is 9. So 9 by 7. So 9 times 7 is 63. And then that back side that we can't see would also be 63, which gives us 126 meters squared on those two sides. Now we need to get the top and the bottom. Okay, so let's, you can look at it either way. You can see this top here visually if you want to use that, which will also be the same as the base that it's currently sitting on. So that's going to be 6 by 9. So 6 times 9 is 54. And obviously the base will also be 54, which gives us 108. Now you can use your calculator and do 108 plus 126 plus 84, which gives you 318 meters squared, because we're talking about surface area again, so area, which is in square units. So you should get 318 meters squared. Okay, example 2 is also a rectangular prism. So go ahead and pause your video. Remember, there are 6 sides to this. So you should have kind of 3 dimensions that you've multiplied each of those by 2 in order to come up with your total surface area. Okay, so again, I'll start with this side right here. So the dimensions of just this side are 6 by 10, which is 60. And the back side would also be 60, so I'm going to multiply that by 2, which gives me 120. Next, I'm going to do this front side right here. So the dimensions of that one would be 9 by 10, which is 90. And then the back side, of course, would also be 90, which is 180. And then I still need to get the top and the bottom. So the top here, which is the same as the base that it's sitting on. Okay, so this is 6, and this way is 9. So 6 times 9 is 54. And again, like I said, the base is also going to be 54, which would give you 108. And then you'll add those 3 up. So 120 plus 180 plus 108 gives you 408. And that is yards squared. Okay, in example 3, we have a triangular prism because we've got this triangle here on this end. And then on the opposite end, of course, that one's kind of harder to see on that back side, but we would have a triangle on that back side as well. So let's start with the area of this triangle. So we know that our formula for area of a triangle is 1/2 times the base times the height. So the base of our triangle is 6. The height of our triangle is 4. So 1/2 times 6 times 4. 6 times 4 is 24. So 1/2 of 24 is 12. But like I said previously, if this triangle is measuring 12 millimeters squared, then also this triangle that's back here on the back side that we really can't see would also be 12. So we're going to multiply that by 2. Some of you will recognize, well, I could have just not have divided by 2 or multiplied by 1/2, which will also work. Just be careful and know which way you're doing that. So 24, I'm going to erase this triangle that I've drawn back here so we don't get confused. Okay, so now let's work on this front side. So this front side is 5 by 8. So 5 times 8 is 40. And if this side is 5 by 8, then over here on this other side, which would be on this side of that figure, best I can show you, would also be 40. So I'm going to multiply that by 2, which gives me 80. And then we still have to get the base that it's sitting on. Okay, so let me erase all this mess so that we can kind of see. So we're looking at the part that it's sitting on. So that would be this and this. Again, I know that's kind of hard to see what I'm talking about here, but I'm talking about this base here that it would be sitting on. So we can see that it is 6 by 8. So 6 times 8 is 48. And there is just one of those. So we would not need to multiply it by 2 because that base is the only rectangle in here that's that size. So now you're ready to add up your dimensions. So 24 plus 80 plus 48 equals 152 millimeters squared. Okay, we have another triangular prism here, so go ahead and pause your video and try to determine the surface area of this prism. So again, we've got a triangle here on the end, and we know we also have one on the other end. So 1/2 times base times height to find the area of a triangle. So the base is 12 and the height is 8. So 1/2 times 12 is 6, and 6 times 8 is 48. And again, if it's 48 on that one end, then it's also 48 on the other end. So we're going to multiply it by 2, the other triangle on the other end, which gives us 96. Then we need to get this side. Remember, this side will be the same as this side over here. So this side is 10 by 10. Well, 10 times 10 is 100. And there are, again, 2 sides of that size, which would give us 200. And then we still need to get the base. So the base here that it's sitting on is 12 by 10. So 12 times 10 is 120. And again, it's just that one base of that size. So 120 plus 200 plus 96 gives us 416 centimeters squared. Okay, find the surface area of this rectangular prism. So go ahead and pause your video and do that. We'll start with this side right here, this real small one, which we can see is 1. This distance is 1. And this distance, you have to look over here at this other side, but it's 8. So 1 times 8 is 8. But also this side right here that we can't actually see would also be 8. So we're going to multiply that by 2, which gives us 16. Then we'll get the top here, which will be the same as the base that it's currently sitting on. So we need the distance for that. So we know that this is 1. And we can tell from the bottom that this is 5. So 1 times 5 is 5. And again, there's 2 of those, the top and the bottom, which gives us 10 total. Then we need to get the front. Okay, so this front side here, which we can see is 5 by 8. So 5 times 8 is 40. And again, if this side is 40, then this back side here is also going to be 40. So we're going to multiply by 2, giving us 80. So 80 plus 10 plus 16 is 106. It's 106 meters squared. Go ahead and pause your video and find the surface area of the cube. Now remember, with a cube, all 6 sides in a cube are the same size. Notice it's 33 by 33 by 33. So really we can just find one of these. So 33 times 33. So 33 times 33 gives us 1,089. And there are 6 sides of that size. So we can multiply by 6, which gives us 6,534 yards squared. Okay, pause your video and try example 8. So we'll start here with this triangle. So we'll also have that same triangle here on this back side. So a half times the base of the triangle is 30 times 20. So a half of 30 is 15, multiplied by 20 gives us 300. And again, we have that triangle on both sides. So we're going to multiply by 2, giving us 600. Then we're going to do this rectangle here that's on the side, which is 25 by 31. So 25 times 31 gives us 775, and there's 2 sides like that. So multiply by 2 is 1,550. And then we still have to get this base here that it's sitting on, so 30 by 31. And 30 by 31 is 930. And then we're going to add these 3 amounts up. So 930 plus 1,550 plus 600 gives us 3,080. And that is centimeters squared. Go ahead and pause your video and try example 9. So we'll start with this one here on the side, so we can see that it is 30 by 22. So 30 times 22, you can use your calculator for. So 30 times 22 equals 660, and we have to multiply that by 2, which gives us 1,320. Then we'll do this rectangle here on the side, which is 38 by 22. So 38 by 22 is 836. And we'll have one side like that, and then this back side as well, so 2. So 836 multiplied by 2 is 1,672. And then we've got one more side, which is this top part, which will be the same as the base. Excuse me, and we can see that that is 30 by 38. So 30 times 38 gives us 1140. And we'll have two sides like that as well, that top and the base. So we'll multiply by 2, which is 2280. And then we can add those 3 dimensions up. So 2280 plus 1672 plus 1320 gives us 5,272 centimeters squared. This is our last example, so go ahead and try example 10. So we have a triangle here on the end because this is a triangular prism. So we're going to do a half times the base of the triangle is 24 and the height is 35. So half of 24 is 12 times 35 is 420. And again, we'll have a triangle of the same size on this back side, so we're going to multiply that by 2, which would give us 840. We'll do this rectangle here on the side, which is 37 by 38. So 37 times 38. That equals 1406. But again, there will be 2 rectangles of that size. So 1406 multiplied by 2 is 2812. And then lastly, we need to get that base that it's sitting on here, which is 24 by 38. There will just be one of those because this is a triangular prism, not a rectangle. So 24 times 38 is 912. And then we can add all of those up. So 912, 2812, and 840 give us 4,564 yards squared. That does complete today's lesson, so you will complete your assessment on the forms link in your assignment tab. Have a good one.